What is the x-intercept of the line that contains the point -2, 3 and 4, 1 in the standard xy coordinate plane? This is going to be ACT skill number 12, and there's a couple ways to do this. Make sure you clear your calculator first. Second, plus 7, 1, 2. I'm going to go through two ways to do this, and you choose which method is easiest for you. So one way to do this is we're going to come up with an equation of the linear line in the form y equals mx plus b. So I need to first find the slope. So I'm going to write -2, 3 and 4, 1, the given 2 points. And I'm going to label those x1, y1 and x2, y2. So to find the slope, I know that it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we have 1 subtract 3 and 4 subtract -2. 1 subtract 3 is -2. 2 negatives make a positive. 4 plus 2 is 6. And this reduces to -1/3. So y equals -1/3 x plus b. Now to identify what the b is, or the y-intercept, to identify the b or the y-intercept, you go back and you choose one of the two pairs, your choice. I'm going to choose 4, 1 because it doesn't contain a negative. And substitute in 4 for x and 1 for y. So 4 times 1 is 4. There's a negative. Okay, now to solve for the b, I need to do the additive inverse. So I want to move this to the opposite side. So I'm going to add 4/3, add 4/3. So I have b equals, grab a calculator please, and we're going to go 1 plus 4/3. Turn it back into a fraction, and we get 7/3. So you're going to take this and plug this in for the y-intercept and in for the slope. Y equals -1/3 x plus 7/3. Now the question says, what is the x-intercept? Sure, better? Now, I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. This is one way. Now, to find the x-intercept, as a reminder, when you find the x-intercept, the y-coordinate will always, always, always be 0. So I want to know, what is this x-intercept? So I'm going to substitute 0 in for y. Okay, this is one way of doing it. Another way is to grab the calculator and plug it in. So ready? 2 plus 7, 1, 2. You're doing this with me. And let's plug it in. So I have a -1/3 x plus 7/3. Hit graph. We want to know, what is the x-intercept? Where does it cross? So let's look at our choices. We know that at this point y is 0. Y is 0, good. Y is not 0. Y is 0, good. Y is not 0. Y is not 0. I'm already down to 2 choices actually. Before I even would have started this problem, I could have canceled out options G, J, and K. Now between these two, it crosses at this point. Does this appear to be the point 0.5 or 7? 7. Let's check and see. Second trace value, and it is 7, 7, 0. An alternative method for doing this, please once again do 2 plus 7, 1, 2 for me. Okay, so we're told in the section we're working with linear lines, but it's not always going to tell you you're working with a linear line, which would make this a little more difficult. I'm going to stay with just the method I taught you. We'll stay with just that, okay? Flip it over, please. So when I was gone last Tuesday, this is one of the skill sets you were asked to do. How many of you had the opportunity to try 1, 2, and 3? Hands up high. Okay, let's go through this one together. So it says point P is to be graphed in a quadrant, not on an axis of the xy coordinate plane. If the x coordinate and y coordinate of this are the exact same signs, then it must be located. Okay, in this position, x's are positive, y's are positive. Here, x negative, y positive, x negative, y negative, x positive, y negative. So in quadrant 1 and in quadrant 3, they have the exact same signs, which would be option C. Sometimes I hear students go, I forget how to label these. So I was taught you make a capital C. So here's quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. To remember how to number them. Going on to number 2. In a standard XY coordinate plane, if one circle is tangent to the x-axis and a different circle is tangent to the y-axis, how many different ordered pairs might the two circles intersect? By raising hands, how many thought this was a little confusing? Hands up high. Okay, so let's look at our options. Do a favor for me, find space, and I want you to draw 3 very simple coordinate planes. All right, so let's look at our options. I need to draw 2 circles. So if it's tangent, it is touching the x-axis, in this case, touching the x-axis at one point. And you could draw a line here, and we could have a 90-degree angle at which it touches. But here we go. There's one circle. Okay, now I'm going to draw a circle that's tangent to the y-axis. Here's another circle. How many times do they touch? 1 time. So anything that doesn't have a 1, I'm going to cross out. Okay, it doesn't have. Okay. So now I'm already down to G and to J. Okay, here's my second circle. Okay, tangent to the x. Tangent to the y. How many times do they cross? 2. They cross at this point and this point. So now I have an option of 1 time and an option of 2 times. The third option will look something like this. There's tangent to the y and tangent to the x. They never cross. Final answer is J. All right, so this goes back to our rational equations unit that we saw during a second semester. In what value or values of x is this undefined? Undefined means when is the bottom equal to 0? So set it equal to 0. Undefined means when is the denominator equal to 0? Remember, it'd be breaking a math rule. So to get rid of the square, I'm going to take the square root of both. Although generally you have 2 answers, the square root of 0 is just 0. There's not a positive and a negative 0. So at what points is it undefined? When x is equal to 0.